So welcome everybody to another video where I look at a few Blu-rays. So Imprint have released in the last couple of months a couple of releases, and on top of that I've gotten one of their older ones, and yeah, we're going to take a look at them today. So yeah, the first of which from 1972, Across 110th Street. Now most people probably know that name from the song by Bobby Womack, which was part of the soundtrack for this film. But yeah, this is a great film in its own right, although the soundtrack and score is really, really good as well. And yeah, it's directed by Barry Shear, who I've not seen anything from before, unfortunately. And it's an action crime film, stars Anthony Quinn and Yaphet Kotto. So this is before Yaphet Kotto was in Live and Let Die. And then he went on into Alien and numerous other great roles. And yeah, it's about a daring robbery where some $300,000 is taken from the Italian mob. Several mafiosi or mafiosa, I don't know what that means, are killed, and as are two policemen, Lieutenant Pope and as well as two policemen. So Lieutenant Pope and Captain Martelli are two New York cops trying to break the case, try and solve all of those murders. And yeah, three small-time criminals are on the run with the money. Will the mafia catch them first, or will the police? So, yeah, the acting is superb in this film. Both Anthony Quinn and Yaphet Kotto are really, really rather good. The action and violence is really well handled. It tackles serious issues like racism and police brutality in a really good and effective manner. And like I said, the score and soundtrack is really rather top-notch. Now, it has been a while since I've actually watched this. I have to shake it to get it out. But yeah, I do remember enjoying it a hell of a lot, and yeah, I really do like the slipcovers that they come with these Imprint films. So there's the front and back, and yeah, it comes with different artwork, the original artwork, should I say, for the case itself. So yeah, you get it in 1080p. It's got audio commentary by cinema author and critic Matthew Asper from this year. Anthony Quinn, an original or a 1990 documentary, and then you get an interview with author Michael J. Coven, also from this year, as well as the theatrical trailer. So yeah, a decent amount of extras there, and a nice looking disc. And yeah, overall Imprint films, no, they're not massively flashy, they don't have a huge amount of extras, you know, there's no booklet or poster, but they're simple in a way that I like, in the fact that it's just getting these great films out there onto a good format, which for the most part, a lot of these haven't been given such a release. And yeah, that film was given the release by Imprint on the 27th of April of 2022. So a really rather recent one. And then we also have, from 1980, The Hunter. Now, this is directed by Buzz Kulak, who, again, I've not seen anything from before. It's another action crime film, but this time stars Steve McQueen and Eli Wallach. And yeah, this is about a bounty hunter that during his long career, Ralph Papa Forson has caught over 5,000 criminals. Now, while he is working on apprehending fugitives in Illinois, Texas and Nebraska, he himself is being hunted by a psychotic killer. Now, this was the last film that Steve McQueen was in, because he unfortunately died only a few months after this film was released due to cancer, which apparently was caused by asbestos. And yeah, it's a great shame that it was the last film in his career, because it's not the greatest film that he did. This is certainly no Bullet or anything like that, but it's a solid last film in his career. It's just a shame that he died at the young age of only 50. So yeah, and though it should be better with it starring McQueen, this is mostly entertaining, and despite not being his best, like I said, it's not something that's the worst end that anyone could have to their career. It's got solid chase scenes, a few solid layers to its plot, with some really rather decent character development that keep it afloat along with McQueen and the rest of the cast. So, yeah, again, get a nice slipcover case, which is, again, really rather nicely done. But again, like I said, you also get the original artwork on the case itself, which again is nicely done. And yeah, again, another 1080p high definition transfer. Audio commentary by film historian Jason Nee from 2022. You got Steve McQueen, Man on the Edge, a vintage documentary. You got the TV trailer, TV spot, and the theatrical trailer as well. So again, really nicely done. Not flashy, not showy, but gets the job done. And again, this is a film that hasn't been released on Blu-ray in the UK before, so yeah, I had to go to an Australian distributor for it, but Australia thankfully has the same region as the UK, so there's no issues in that regard. And yeah, that film was released on the 30th of March of this year as well. And finally, we have from 1983, probably my favourite film of the three, 1983's The Dead Zone. Now, this was directed by David Cronenberg, the most well-known director out of the three, who also did the really well fantastic The Brood, Scanners, A History of Violence, and The Fly. They're my favourites from him. Obviously, he did more than that. And yeah, it's a science fiction thriller that stars Christopher Walken, Brooke Adams, Tom Skerritt, Herbert Lom, and Martin Sheen. A really, really fantastic cast. So Walken is definitely the highlight of the bunch. And yeah, Walken plays Johnny Smith, who is a school teacher with his whole life ahead of him. But after leaving his fiance's home one night, he is involved in a car crash which leaves him in a coma for 5 years. When he wakes, he discovers he has an ability to see into the past, present, and future of anyone who he comes into contact with, physical contact with. He has to physically touch them. And yeah, really, really good, fantastic thriller this, and it's easily one of the best Stephen King adaptations out there, which is primarily because of Cronenberg's direction and the acting from Walken. It also has an engrossing plot, the supporting cast is really rather solid, the score is good, it has good action, and the finale is really rather gripping and satisfying at the same time. So yeah, this was given a release by Imprint on July 21st, 2021, so yeah, it's still less than a year old, but it's definitely the oldest of the bunch, and again, I have to try and shake it to get it out. That's the only real issue I have with these Imprint films, is they're difficult to get out of the slipcase at times, but yeah, really nice solid case again. A whole bunch of extras on this one, unlike the other two, which isn't to say the extras on the other two are lacking, but yeah, there's definitely more on this one, as you can see by the long list there. So yeah, again, another 1080p representation, but it's from a 2K scan of the original negative this time around. You've got audio commentaries by film critics Stephen Jones and Kim Newman. You've got Look Past the Future, filming The Dead Zone, an interview with cinematographer Mark Irwin and music producer engineer James Guthrie. From last year that was made. You got From Coma to Coda, scoring The Dead Zone, interview with composer Edward Shearmur, who also did Reign of Fire, discussing Michael Kamen's score from 2021. Michael Kamen was the score composer to go for if you wanted a thrilling, action-orientated score. He did so many great films in the 80s and early 90s. And yeah, you got Dino in the Dark, adapting The King of Horror, documentary featuring interviews with Mark L. Lester, Joseph Madry, Lewis Teague, Danatius, Mick Garris, Tom McLaughlin, and Anthony Magistrelli from 2021. They all directed Stephen King films. I only know of Mark L. Lester, I think, who directed Firestarter. And then you got Frank Dodd and the Cujo Connection, a visual essay by film critic Lee Gambin, also from 2021. And then you got 4 features: Memories from the Dead Zone, The Look of the Dead Zone, Visions and Horror from the Dead Zone, and The Politics of the Dead Zone. And then you've got a 1983 vintage interviews with David Cronenberg, Deborah Hill, and Martin Sheen. Deborah Hill, most well known for working with John Carpenter on the Halloween films, which, yeah, I didn't realise that she actually was involved in this in any way. And then you got an interview with Stephen King, and finally a theatrical trailer. So, yeah, a huge amount of extras there, and I'm looking forward to watching as many of them as I can. And then the disc itself. So, yeah, fantastic 3 films, to be honest. Really, really satisfied with all of these, quite frankly. And yeah, I've got even more coming from Imprint in the future. Have the likes of the A Night to Remember, Bloody Sunday, The Defiant One. I think the Defiant Ones, maybe something called that. I can't. No, Damn the Defiant Ones or something like that. But yeah, regardless, 3 fantastic films from Imprint, and yeah, to go nicely with the ones I already have, because I did a new Obsession boutique label video in February, and yeah, these are going to go nicely in my collection. And yeah, it's nice that I have finally something from the 80s, because I didn't have any from the 80s with the previous Imprint films that I have, and now I have 2 from the 80s. So yeah, really highly recommend getting a hold of Imprint films. They're not necessarily that much more expensive, despite coming all the way from Australia. Obviously, you have to pay a fair bit more in terms of shipping, but quite frankly, the films themselves come out to about £20 a piece, which for a new version of a film that, quite frankly, like I said, we don't have on Blu-ray already in the UK, is, yeah, well worth it, and especially with the nice slip covers and all the extras that you get as well. So yeah, seek them out if you can. These are the first few from Imprint that I've bought direct from them. The other ones I got were from second-hand sellers on eBay. But yeah, getting direct them from them if you can, if they aren't out of stock, because they do have quite some limited stock on some of their releases. You won't be disappointed. I highly recommend them. So yeah, nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.